Oh, hello gardeners. Here's another tip just about recycling and reusing. Um, as I sort of mentioned in a couple of videos here and there, um, I'm not really a greenie. I don't really push the point. I don't force things onto others or anything like that. But I do like to reuse, and I do think that environmentalists do have some pretty good points. Some guys are just way over the top, and some guys just, like me, just keep quiet and do their own little thing, which, whatever floats your boat. But anyhow, it's all for a good cause, and really the whole gardening thing is just about having a go. Now this here is just a short video, hopefully it's going to end up short, on how to, what I've done to reuse things. First thing I want to point out is that wheelbarrow is probably about 60 years old, maybe 70, and I still use it today. It's just as good, if not better, than anything that you'll go and get at a hardware store or a garden centre. Buy a brand new one, they're alright, but mate, that's lasted the test of time. So there's a classic example of not consuming. Those sticks that you can see there, the yellow ones on the left, no particular reason why I've cut them in different sizes, but they came out of the telephone exchange at, I won't tell you where just in case they flog me for it, but that was just laying around in the, not the basement, but underneath the building. I was laying some cables in there on a job I was doing, and I saw that stuff and I thought, hang on, I can take that home and I can reuse it, rather than going down to the shop, the garden centre or whatever, and buying new stakes. Hardwood stakes are the best ones, of course, but we all know where hardwood comes from. It comes from a nice big solid tree that gets cut down for our purpose. So I'll ease up a little bit there on pushing my point, but I've reused the timber that I found. You see those stakes there, they're quite nice and tall. The timber came from underneath our house, and they were left there from when my brother-in-law was building the extension. I'll just show you what I mean. There's just the timbers down there. They were stored underneath there, under the house, sitting there doing nothing. I've used some of them to make another bed. Those ones there I'll use to make another garden bed as well. And that's like, that's all good quality timber. That's proper builder's timber. It's expensive stuff. It's solid. It's very, very, very effective in the garden. I've got me, that goes nice and tall. I'm not very straight though. I'm not real good at putting things up straight, but I get to get, like, if you tried to buy that in a garden centre, you'd probably pay $15 for it, maybe $10. And this is in Australia too. So, reusing, you're saving money, you're saving the environment. It's just all positive anyway. There's pallets there, again, example of reusing. They would have just gone to the tip or been cut up. They might have got reused on site a couple of times in the job I was doing, but at the end of the day it just gets thrown away. Now that will rot, but they're going to stand the test of time for a little while, so that's all good. So I think that's probably about it for the reusing. Hang on, that plastic there, and the tarps and the weed mat, that's stored. I don't just throw it away, I keep it all. The bags in here, where are they? I don't know if you can see them, but when I get the bags of mulch, or if I get a bag of compost or something like that from a hardware or garden shop, I'll keep the bag and I'll try and reuse the bag for a rubbish bag, or put mulch in it, or I'll just reuse the bag rather than just going out and wasting plastic. Cardboard and newspaper, I think this is probably the biggest success, in line with the timber and for my stakes. Basically, with newspapers and cardboard, what I do is I just lay them down on the ground when I build a new garden bed, and I put them as a weed mat. And this works really quite well. When I first heard about this idea, I thought, you're crazy, the grass is just going to come up, the weeds are going to come up, and it doesn't. It does a little bit, a tiny bit, but it's alright. So you just put that at the very bottom of the garden bed, nice and thick. Pile your compost and your manure and your soil, and build it up, and you just let it sit. It'll rot away, and it'll stop the grass and the weeds from coming up, and you'll be able to just you have a garden bed, and you can't even see it. There's heaps of grass down there at the bottom of that, and there's heaps of newspaper as well. So that's another reusing tip. Another one, I think I might have to wrap it up here. I'm sort of running out of ideas, but this might be the last one. That there was a box that I think there was a motor in it. I don't know what for, but it got delivered to a job site, taken out of the box, and nobody needs the box, so I brought it home. Now it's not really the best thing, but because it is going to rot away and that sort of stuff, and I'm going to build another garden bed here. But I mean, for the meantime, I did use it. I brought it home for free. It cost me nothing. I grew some food in it, some carrots and some celery and some sage and all that. So that's just reusing, isn't it? Yeah. So I'll leave it there. Here we go. I always say I'm going to leave it there, and I think, hang on, I've got another one. Alright, the clothesline. What I'm going to do, as you can see, the yard's a bit of a mess. That's because I've been pulling away this filthy weed just up there, and even that I can reuse, but I've got to let it rot and die, or dry out. Not so much rot, but it's got to dry out. Most people look at it and go, "Oh, this is terrible. This is a poorly kept yard," but really, it's all about a system. So back to the clothesline. Then what I'm going to do is cover the clothesline with mesh, and build a big garden bed underneath it. I might do 4 small ones, or I might do 1 big one, but I'm not too sure yet. So I'm going to put a big net over the clothesline, and that's to stop the birds eating the crops that they like. So I'll plant things that birds tend to attack, like broccoli and you name it, they'll eat it. Maybe a few sunflowers, I don't know, but whatever the birds eat, I'll keep that out of their reach. Here, berries, those sort of things. So instead of just cutting down the clothesline and throwing it away, I'm going to reuse it, put it to good use. Alright, well, I think I'm about out of steam, and I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it's been of some use to you. See yous.